I want to start this video off by giving a big shout out to Baton Rouge, East Baton Rouge, the whole area. There's been a story out of LSU brewing for a couple of weeks now after their star player was allegedly kicked off the team and a female staffer resigned after news of a wild party in Atlanta. It was so wild, LSU, they've been working diligently to put out the fire for over a month now. I've been telling you about these city girls who found a new route to get to the NFL players. What they've been doing is praying at the college level. Looks like they picked up some pointers from the Brittany Renner book. But it's no mistake that we're seeing more and more of these 304s being hired at college programs everywhere all over the country, and how these institutions are literally putting everything at risk by having these boppers around. We're going to get into all of that, but first, take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates. Kayshon Boutte, star wide receiver for LSU, 20 years old, from New Iberia, Louisiana. For those unfamiliar, it's a town a part of the Lafayette, Louisiana metro. Kayshon put in work in high school. He was a 5-star recruit and ranked as the nation's #2 wide receiver. He had a lot of options and ended up committing to Louisiana State University. Back on December 5th, 2022, Kayshon made an announcement that he was not going into the NFL draft and that he will instead be returning to LSU for the next season. LSU fans obviously hyped by the news, plus he was getting ready to play in the Citrus Bowl. Here's the thing though, days before the bowl game that was scheduled for January 2nd, 2023 in Orlando, Florida, Kayshon made another announcement. He took to Twitter and wrote, "After careful thoughts and consideration, I will be declaring for the 2023 NFL Draft." So people started wondering, wait, just 3 weeks ago he said he was coming back to LSU next year and he's not declaring. And now he changed his mind all of a sudden? What happened between December 5th and December 28th that caused him to switch like that? I can tell you it had nothing to do with the Christmas holiday and everything to do with this woman right here, allegedly. Her name is Destiny Wilson, on-campus recruiting coordinator for LSU. She's from Lincolnton, North Carolina, and graduated from UNC Charlotte in 2021. She moved to Louisiana, taking this position with the LSU football program. It was her first season working with the team. Word is, when Louisiana and Georgia met up for the SEC championship that took place in Atlanta at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, there was a lot of excitement. You know, it was a rematch from the 2019 SEC matchup between LSU and the Georgia Bulldogs. In 2019, LSU won, but this year, Georgia had to get them back in the rematch. The Bulldogs ended up taking it all the way, as you know. They won the national championship, making them back-to-back champions. We're going to get back to that in a second because it's a bittersweet moment for Georgia right now, with one of their players losing his life over the weekend while out with a female staffer who also passed away. But on December 3rd, 2022, you had Kayshon, Destiny, and the whole team staff all in Atlanta for the SEC championship. Someone tipped off social media exposing that there was a party in Atlanta. The message said that there was at least 5 participants. Kayshon was only one of the 4 men identified. You also had members of the coaching staff and recruiting department. These 4 men allegedly caught with one woman, Destiny, and they allegedly had relations with her. According to the report, Kayshon was the only football player there, and he was allegedly dismissed from the team because of this incident. The coach and the other male staff members are still working at the university, but it was reported that the female staffer resigned on December 8th, less than a week after this party. It was revealed that Destiny has a reputation and history for these kind of activities. On her IG, she posted this picture of herself with the caption, "City Girls Up." This photo taken while the team was in Atlanta for that championship game. Here's what's not right about the situation. You have a football player who was allegedly kicked off the team for having consensual relations with a staffer. Let's start there. Not only is Destiny older than Kayshon, but she's an employee of the university. Kayshon is a student. How do you reprimand the student when it was the employee who was out of line and outside of professional code here? And then the other 3 guys, all employees for the school, what happened to them? Did they violate any rules by allegedly having relations with Destiny? LSU head coach Brian Kelly didn't say much about the situation. He was questioned about Kayshon, but basically said that he couldn't talk about it. I just don't understand how the student could receive a punishment that's more swift and harsh than the employees. This situation reminded me of the recent incident at TSU, Tennessee State University, where a female football staffer was having an inappropriate relationship with one of their players, and she got jealous, went crazy on him and his girlfriend. She ended up getting arrested for that, but TSU never addressed the situation, and at the time of my report, they hadn't even terminated her. If you missed that story, I'll leave the link below for you to check it out. But you have these 304s, they got a new trend going on where they are applying for these positions within the athletic department of these college programs, and it's happening all over the country. All of these women are older than the guys that they're going after, and they're hooking up with them, trying to get their teeth into these men before they get to the NFL. Which brings me to the sad news about 20-year-old Devin Willock, offensive lineman for the Georgia Bulldogs. He was just celebrating their national championship over the weekend. They had a parade in Athens, and later that night, around 2:45 a.m. in the morning, he was riding in the car with a female staffer, 24-year-old Chandler LaCroix. She was a recruiting coordinator for the team. Chandler was driving. Something caused her to veer off the road. Sadly, Devin passed away right there on the scene while she was transported to the hospital, where she later passed away. They had 2 others in the car with them, a 21-year-old male and a 26-year-old female who was also a part of the UGA football staff. Really sad news, and you have much speculation around the relationship between Devin and Chandler. I mean, they're out at almost 3 a.m. in the morning in Athens, Georgia. We're talking about a town where everything is closed by 9 p.m. But RIP to Devin and Chandler. Very, very, very sad news. I'm just looking at these collegiate football programs, and I really believe the schools are opening up themselves to a lot of liabilities, as well as bringing a lot of liabilities onto these players by hiring these city girls like Destiny. In this case with Kayshon and Destiny, it looks like they have it under control now, but you know, allegations can pop up at any time. Kayshon can go to the NFL, and 15 years later, Destiny can come back with a whole different story and change it from a consensual situation to a Me Too moment. This is why having these women around is so dangerous. And honestly, they really shouldn't be there. They should be hiring young men in these positions anyway. There are so many young guys out there that may not meet athletic standards, but they can find success working behind the scenes in these roles they're trying to give to these women now. But no, they rather hire city girls who bop around with their players allegedly and then get on social media bragging about city girls being up. I also think the players are going to have to be smarter. They need to learn some discipline and focus. These women can really ruin your whole life. They got their mama, their parents, their whole family depending on them to be successful, and they could literally ruin everything by slipping up with these 304s. All of these coaches and staff members are hired at the school, but who's dealing with issues like this? Teaching these guys to avoid the Britneys of the world. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. I definitely want to hear what you think about all of this below. Shout out to our brother Dark Power as well as cousin George. I appreciate you all for your support. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like and share.